Hello and welcome to yet another Sit and Talk. This week we have none other than Mr. Paul Moody, who is with us today, which is an absolute pleasure to have Paul with us. Paul's been a big supporter of what we do. We often speak about walk and talk with Paul, and we're just going to get an idea of what Paul, as a football player, what mental health he went through. Obviously, he had a big injury during his career. And just generally talk to Paul and see how Paul is. So, first of all, Paul, how are you, mate?
All good, thanks. Yeah, thanks for inviting me on. Obviously to go through different periods in your life, but at this present time, I'm good and happy.
Oh, that's the main thing.
Fantastic.
That's the main thing. Deke?
Yeah, Paul. I was. Yeah, no. Well, there's obviously we've got so much we'd love to talk to you about. And once again, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening to be able to come and talk to us. We really do appreciate it. Obviously, walk and talk is something that's very close to Lee's heart, and now thankfully close to my heart, and being part of it. And it's amazing that we have this avenue to be able to speak to people of your caliber. It's not every day. I say this all the time. Not every day you get to speak to ex-professional footballers. We've all dreamed of being able to kick a ball about, and thankfully you were able to do that. But I was looking at your history and your career and everything like that, and all of the goals that you scored. So there's lots to talk about, but there's loads of other little questions that I'd love to ask you as well. Silly ones as well. What was your favourite shirt that you traded for, or what was your favourite time? Was it Millwall? Or your favourite goal, or the hat trick you got when you came back from the unfortunate leg break against Stoke when you were playing for Fulham and stuff like that. So, let's Lee. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start? Let's start from the very beginning, or do you want to? Let's start from. Yeah, Paul. What was it like starting? The very early days of Waterlooville, and then going on to Southampton as well. What was it like? Was it a shock to get picked up? Because obviously every kid wants the dream to be able to play professional football. Was it a shock, or was it one of those situations where I knew I was going to make it because I worked hard every day and I wanted to make it?
Yeah, I always knew I was good enough, but it's just being given that chance. I mean, because of my character, everyone thought I was laid back and a bit lazy on the pitch. Obviously, being tall, you look a little bit slower than everyone else who's running around the pitch. But no, literally, I was playing when I was about. I missed that chance to get an apprenticeship. I was talking to Jamie Webb, an ex-Southampton apprentice, whatever, the other day, and we were talking about how we sort of, both from Portsmouth, didn't really get a chance to do the apprenticeship with our hometown club, which for me, I mean, it's been found out over the last sort of years that the Portsmouth sort of academy of bringing players through is not that good anyway. So I ended up sort of taking football seriously up until I left school, and then I ended up playing pub football. I was actually playing in goal for a Saturday team, and then playing 2 games Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, a game for another sort of local pub team. And we'd meet up in the pub about an hour before a couple of drinks, and you had players smoking on the side before the game. So it was all a little bit, but that's how it was. And I just thought to myself, that's it for me now. My chance is gone. But I ended up scoring 5, 6, 7, 8 goals a game on the Sundays, and then got invited down for a trial at Fareham Town. And I literally played for the reserves, wasn't really that fit, and I scored a hat-trick. And then they signed me on, put me in the first team for the Saturday. I scored another hat-trick. And it just sort of went on from there, really.
So then, obviously, you had your chance at Southampton, didn't quite make it there. Obviously, with the players they had, we've had this chat before with Matt Letizia and so forth. What players they were. So you went on to Oxford. Obviously, as a young lad, how did you feel? I liked kind of
forgot the little loan spell at Reading.
Yeah.
Forgot the loan spell at Reading. Yeah, Paul, how was the loan spell? Obviously, this being your first time going out on loan. What was the experiences? Obviously, you'd played for a club and you were getting your feet under the desk, so to speak, and then all of a sudden you were shipped out on loan to Reading. How was it? Obviously, it's quite far away as well from Southampton or the coast, just outside of London. So
yeah, it's a little bit disappointing not to be given more chance at Southampton, to be fair.
Yeah.
The chances I did get, I didn't score, which didn't help, obviously. Then, went on loan to Reading, and I found where the training at Southampton was so professional. I found that I got to Reading, it was quite easy for me to train in. I felt I was much fitter than the other players. So to drop down a couple of levels, as it were, I found it okay. So it wasn't a bad experience, really.
No, sure. No, I can appreciate that. Obviously it can be difficult. Funny enough, I don't know if this website is accurate. This is obviously me just trying to get as much information as possible, and it's a really good website. But the couple of games that you played for Southampton, one was against these fellas here. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I remember it well. It was at Highbury as well. I think we lost 1-0.
Yeah, it says 1-0 here.
Literally that game, I think Paul Merson scored. I had two brilliant chances to score, and on another day they'd have gone in. If I was playing in the reserves, they'd have gone in. Dave Seaman was in goal at the time and made a couple of brilliant saves. As I say, you need them little breaks, if those goals had gone in.
Who knows?
My confidence would have grown. I'd have felt a little bit more comfortable. All the time you're not scoring as a forward, the next game becomes more pressure on.
I still find that remarkable, Lee. I don't know about you. I still find that absolutely remarkable. I can't remember who scored last year for the Arsenal, even though I love and adore the football club. But Paul can just go, oh, yeah, it was Merson. Yeah, Seaman was a goal, a couple of shots. I have no idea. But it obviously shows the passion from back then. Do you know what I mean? The love for it all, and the fact that you were able to just recall that information. I have genuinely no idea.
I don't remember much else. To be fair.
Well, no, sure, but the fact that you were able to recall that, I just find that quite fascinating. That footballers, not just yourself, Paul, but just footballers in general, that are able to just recall, moments of that.
Yeah. Odd clips I can remember.
Sure.
But generally, most of it's a blur. Most of the games, because obviously,
it's probably all the smoking and the drinking before game.
So let's go back to.
I stopped all that, to be fair.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go forward a little bit. Obviously, Oxford. Your time at Oxford. You had a very good time down there. Then you signed for Fulham. Obviously, the best team in London, if not the world. You had a few years down at Fulham. I personally remember you playing, and to have like this conversation and having a drink up with you, it does mean a lot to me, and it takes me back a bit like what Deacon said, certain situations, and you remember so many things, and it's quite amazing to reminisce with such an important figure in your life, in my life, should I say, as a fan, as someone that you looked up to when they were playing football. And obviously you had your leg break. How did you feel about that? Obviously we talk about men's mental health constantly on here. Kind of want to get onto that. How did you feel when obviously that accident happened? What was going through your head? Obviously the rehabilitation.
I mean, earlier on in my career, I didn't really realise that I did suffer with depression. It was not until further down the line, when things triggered it off, that I actually realised that, this was what it was all along. And things like, as you say, breaking your leg. It was at a time when the club were getting bigger and bigger, better players were coming in. And it's like, can I get back in the team? I was out for 6 months, literally driving up, and I could only drive because of the fact that I had an automatic car. It was my left leg that I broke. So I didn't obviously use that to drive. So I had to drive from Portsmouth up to the Bank of England sports ground where we were training at the time.
Yeah.
And literally training for 2 hours, 3 hours solid in the pool, on the bike, doing weights and stuff. And then it literally went to about the last 5, 6, 7 games of the season that I'd got my fitness back. So then I was raring to go again.
Yeah, me and you have spoken offline about mental health, and we've gone into quite a lot of depth. And it's just, to me, I was listening to a Peter Crouch podcast the other day, and it really hit home to me with what he said. He says, it's amazing how many football players divorce, how many go through mass problems when they leave football, because they have got no structure. They've got nothing that, they have their mates around them all the time. They were laughing, they were giggling. It was that environment. And to be taken out of that environment and go into, should we say, civilian life, where you got the money, you don't have to work. It's just, I found it quite interesting to understand. And obviously we had Paul Konchesky on here a couple of weeks ago, and he was helping the youngsters at West Ham, the loan players that are out on loan from West Ham. And I thought that's a really, really, really interesting thing to do, because obviously he's an ex-player. He knows what's going on. He knows everything about within the circle. He knows that people like a laugh, a joke. He knows the situation. And for him to nurture these people that really don't know what's going on is quite inspirational, if I'm honest. And to me, I just think there's so much more that can be done between the fans and the players, should we say, coming together to open up and understand that we're all in this together, man. Would you agree?
Yeah, I didn't really catch a lot of that. The line's not so good, but
oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough that I had a trade to go back into when I stopped playing football. But I sort of got to the stage that once I was out of football, that was it for me.
You didn't want to go back.
Done my time. Had a few opportunities to go into coaching, whatever. I mean, when I was at Millwall, Sean Dyche and I, obviously the Burnley manager now, we put down and do our coaching badges in the summer. This must have been about 2002. And I was going through a divorce at the time, which was obviously stressful. And I thought, this summer I'm going to have off. And he ended up going on to do coaching badges, and I mean, look where he is now. But for me, it was an opportunity which, because of the period I was going through, as I say, and I sunk into a bit of depression then, and I ended up not taking that opportunity.
I wouldn't say you regret it.
Yeah, it's a tricky word, isn't it? It's a tricky situation. Paul, if it's all hindsight now, it's really unfortunate. But that's exactly what we were talking about in regards to support bases being there for players when I wouldn't say their time is up, but when they're thinking of moving on to other things, or if they're, sudden instances have forced their hand to move on to other things. That's once again encouraging the idea that needs to be a better support for players who are going through certain circumstances, whether it be maybe having a drink here or there, or family problems or whatever. So that really, really enforces that idea. Paul, did you ever? It's never too late, is what they say. Obviously, it's like riding a bike. Would you ever think about maybe even just helping out in a small way? Is that maybe, or if that's what you're doing now, just to maybe just get your teeth involved or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, again, the line's not very clear here, but I think PFA could do so much more with players during their careers.
100%.
I mean, players are, looking back over the years, players are just used. Obviously, once you've done your job for a team, they can buy another player.
Yep.
And I think you're just sort of disregarded after you've done your job. But I think the PA could do so much more. And ex-players like myself who have suffered from depression could help them to help others who are still playing. I mean, as I say before, I didn't even realise that I was depressed. I didn't realise, but now I can trace it back to when I was at school. I just didn't feel happy with anything, and then it's always something that triggers it off. When I was at Oxford, the birth of the twin boys, they were born premature, weighed about 2.5 pounds each, and they were sort of 50-50 whether they were actually going to live or not. And obviously the fans don't see that. I was still training every day. I was driving from Portsmouth to Basingstoke, this hospital they were born in. They were obviously kept in there for months. Then going up to Oxford, training, then coming back to Basingstoke, seeing my wife and kids, and then driving back to Portsmouth, and then doing the same thing every day. And it got to the point where I ended up, I couldn't physically or mentally play. I mean, the manager at the time, Dennis Smith, was brilliant. He just sort of said, "Okay, don't play this week or whatever, or we'll put you on the bench." But it was still, looking back now, mentally, it was hard.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story. Obviously, it's quite a personal story, and I'm not being funny. There's quite a lot of people that I've spoken to on walks that have gone through very similar situations. Obviously, with premature children, their wife's giving birth, the girlfriend's giving birth, so forth.
I can't hear you.
You can't, no. You can't.
Paul, can you hear me? Yeah. Paul, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Paul?
It's still crackling.
Still crackling?
That's why I probably answered none of your questions.
You've answered, to be honest with you, Paul, with how much you may not or hear or not be hearing. You've done pretty well. You've kind of got the gist of where we've been going with them. So you've done pretty well in that consideration.
I'm just going to take the show over on myself now.
Take it on.
I love it. No, I don't know if you want to. I don't know if Paul. I don't know if you want to restart it or something like that. Maybe that might help it, or maybe move to another part of the house. I know this probably is asking. I know this is a real pain, and I'm really sorry. But I don't know if maybe moving to another spot, maybe somewhere that's better with Wi-Fi, or.
I'm in a good position to be fair. It's your phone, not mine. Let me try. Just now, bear with me.
Can you hear us now, okay. Paul?
Have you got?
Yeah, it's still.
Can you hear us? You got it? Can you hear me, mate? Paul?
Yeah, I can, but it's crackling. It's not clear.
It's not.
How about now, Paul? Can you hear us?
You got us?
I can hear you. Yeah, it's sort of half of what you're saying, but it's not clear.
All right. Well, we'll try and continue as much as we can.
Yeah.
We'll try and carry on as much as we can, Paul. Thank you so much for your patience. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, you were saying about the toughest, obviously the tough time that you were whilst you were at Oxford. I know we're just going slightly back, but you back to what you were saying in regards to the unfortunate premature birth of your boys. But funny enough, during that time at Oxford was one of your more prolific goal scoring times at a club. I don't know how accurate this website is, but 49 goals and in the league, and then you've got some goals here as well in the cups and everything like that. Do you think that those negative situations, I know that's the D word, I call it the D word because sometimes it's a difficult thing when you admit it, it's kind of like a weight off your shoulders and stuff like that when you admit that you maybe have depression or whatnot. But sometimes it pushes you forward and makes you want to try that much harder to try and get out of said depression hole. Your time at Oxford proven here that you scored a lot of goals and your ratio is quite good considering you were the tall man up front and whatnot. What do you think actually got you through those times at Oxford? Was it just your ability, or do you think it was a mixture of the fact that you were wanting to get through it and try and come out the other side, and there's a little bit of fight in you?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing my best football ever. I think this would have been about 94, 95 season.
Yep.
The Oxford team were flying. I was actually top scorer in the country.
Amazing.
Up till sort of Christmas time, November, about 19 goals by November, and then the kids were born just after Christmas, 6th of July, 6th of January, sorry. And all my focus went onto them, and I didn't really care about the football. I didn't care about anything else, what was going on in my life. And it was just one of them cards you were dealt, and you had to deal with it. And that's what I thought. You just had to go through it, you know. And looking back now, it took some mental strength, and I think that sort of gives you strength in the future when situations like that have occurred again, and it sort of helped me to deal with them a bit better. Just to say, when I went to Fulham breaking my leg, being out for 6 months is a long time, and having to travel like for an hour and a half just to go to training, to do a couple of hours training, then drive back, knowing that you're not going to be even playing on the Saturday. It is a bit disheartening. Okay, don't get me wrong, we're getting paid good money at the time, so you want sort of, but I'd have taken no money to be feeling better mentally, you know.
Wow.
I want to ask you a question.
Again, a lot of the fans don't. Yep.
Sorry, mate. Obviously, going through your situation, depression, so forth. Did you speak to anybody at the club? Did the clubs offer you any advice? Did the management talk to you? Was there the team doctor talk to you? Did you open up to anybody? Was any of the teammates involved? Because I know it's a bit of a laddish
taboo subject.
Yeah, it's a bit. Obviously, you're in the changing room. You're in the changing room. Everybody's taking the piss out of each other.
When I was at Oxford, yeah. But I say, when I was at Oxford, didn't speak to any other players about it. I wanted to see the club doctor, and he sort of said you got depression, offered me tablets, and I thought no, I didn't want to take them, and I didn't. But just sort of dealt with it in my own way. Then the Fulham thing, I didn't actually feel that down, maybe because my personal life was okay at the time. That sort of got me through it. But then when I went to Millwall, I think that's probably when I had my worst sort of breakdown. Again, I was going through a divorce. This was when I was saying about me and Sean Dyche were going to do the old PFA badges. And I spoke to Mark McGee, and he'd been through it himself, or his wife had been through it. So he sort of understood depression to a D. And he was brilliant. He just said, I don't want to see you for a week. He literally just said, come back when you feel you can. But then it's sort of the stage where I thought, I've had enough of football now. I knew I could still play for another year or two. And I was probably 34 at the time. I had a year left on my contract at Millwall, and the chairman, to be fair, offered me another year. And we just got promoted to what is now the champ. So it was a sort of difficult time. I just felt like giving up. And then the manager come in and said, Oxford had come back in for you. Might be sort of less travelling, easier standard of football, not so much pressure on. And I thought, yeah, I'll go for that. And that turned out to be a big mistake, really. I hated my football there for a few different reasons.
And you just fell out of love.
Looking back now, I think a bit of depression in there. But you just sort of dealt with it as you could. I mean, I've taken tablets going back probably five years ago now. This was another divorce. I've only had two, by the way.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm just writing on the tally, Paul. Just putting on the tally. I'm just getting them all tallied up for you.
Yeah, you write them down. Yeah. No, so second divorce, and it was quite a bad. But yeah, I did struggle. Then ended up moving into a few different places on my own, renting flats and whatever. Luckily enough, I bought a flat with the money that I did sort of come out of the marriage with, and I ended up moving in there, and I've been there since. But I've met someone now a couple of years ago who didn't understand depression at the time. and I didn't want to show that I was depressed at the time.
I think men do that a hell of a lot. I think a majority of men have been through that. I've been through that, and it's one of them ones that you don't want to open up, but you do, but you don't. You fear things. Will she appreciate it? Won't she? Will she understand it? Won't she? I like her, but I don't want to tell her just in case she says. So yeah, you know,
we don't want to come across as weak.
No,
do you don't want to come across as weak,
well,
and it can be quite
right. I was putting on a brave face every time we saw her, just to sort of and to be fair, she didn't really know. And then obviously, we spoke about it one night, and we're good. She sort of understands it a bit more now. Although I do, even unless you've had depression, you never will understand it.
Yeah.
I agree.
But now
I agree.
I had a bit of counselling from the PFA as well, which helped. I understand now that when I do have a bad day, I know that the next day I'm going to be okay, you know. So yeah, it is sort of controlling it, if you like, is understanding why you're down. And a lot of the times it is after the weekend, after you probably had drinks. Most people are down on a Monday anyway. Then it gets to Tuesday, back to normal again. So no, I think I'm well in control of it now.
Brilliant.
Well, do you think, obviously, looking back in your career in football, obviously we're the outside, we're the fans, we just go to the football and enjoy it and do what we can to cheer on our team and take away our own problems on the pitch for 90 minutes. We sing, we go back, get behind the team and just have a laugh, meet up with our pals, have a drink. Do you think that when you played football, what could the PFA and the FA done to help people that are depressed within football?
Yeah, I think the PFA should have a team of people, probably ex-players would obviously be better because they've actually been through it. They understand what's going on with it. Just to go around the clubs and talk to players about it, because as you said, I never spoke to anybody. Okay, a couple of times, like so when I spoke to Mark McGee, I just burst out crying. I said, "Look, I've had enough." But I think if there is even if I remember at Oxford, we used to have a reverend. He used to come in on a Friday morning, make us cups of tea after training, and have a chat with us. Lovely, lovely fella. And I think even something like that,
for something so basic,
club to have their own designated person to go round, and he would ask you how you feeling and all that. And I think if they had an ex-player at each club, and it would probably benefit if you played for that club to go back just to talk to players, getting amongst them after training, whatever, or while they're having their lunch, and just sort of saying, I'm there for you if you need to talk. You know,
I think that's superb, and like we said earlier,
it does obviously help talking to people.
Oh, massively. Look, we said this earlier. I don't know if you heard, but we had Paul Konchesky on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he's kind of doing that with the loanies of West Ham. And to me, that is just absolutely. I agree with what you say, Paul, mate. I
player
totally
liaison,
agree.
But a player liaison that's specifically just going around and just being there for people, just going, listen, if you need a chat, I'm here. I've done this. I've worn the t-shirt many times. I'm here. I know exactly what you're going through 100%. If you just want to have a little chat, not a problem. I'm here. They do that now in some of the biggest TV studios and stuff like that. There's always someone there to just look after everyone, including guests and people. So it should be extended in football 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to the fans and that, I don't think the fans understand.
No.
They see these players which are earning now £200,000-300,000 a week, and what have you got to be depressed? You're earning that much money. Well, that doesn't make any difference. If someone gives me £2 million, that's not going to make me happy.
Yeah.
No, agreed.
And fans obviously go through it themselves. And what Lee's doing with his walks and that's trying to get the supporters on side as well, just to open up to and talk about it, because it is one of them sort of blokes who want to appear to be strong, don't want to have the piss taken out of them by their mates.
Yeah.
Which is, when I suffered from depression, I always talk to people about it. I go to the pub and talk to mates about it. And I find when I'm good, I don't talk about it, you know?
Yeah, it is one of them things, isn't it? You put to the back of your mind. When you're good, you just go, "Yeah, I can't be bothered." But then when you're bad, you just dwell on it. It's just quite a crazy situation. But I remember talking to you, Paul, on the phone about a year ago, and again, it really hit me. You know, obviously, again, we're fans. Me and Deke are fans. You are an ex-football player, and you know, you're talking about your divorces. You know, going from scoring a goal at Millwall in front of thousands of people, and then going home and that elation to then 2-3 hours later of silence. Obviously, you go back into reality where you are getting a divorce, and to me, that must be such. All right, this is my show. I can swear that should be that must be such a head fuck to go from all that drama, that passion, that drive, that elation to you, to obviously going through a divorce and like no one there for you, sort of thing. After
And that's the frustrating thing as well, Paul. People, I say this all the time, and this is one of my biggest gripes, is fans who don't really understand football, and they see players as commodities. They see them as a piece of merchandise. They don't see them as proper human beings with thoughts and feelings. And I try and dispel that every single moment I get. I try and tell people, because obviously social media now is in today's day and age, and it can be a positive place, as Walk and Talk is, as I found Walk and Talk, but it can be a negative place as well when you find fans who don't really understand the meaning of when they at a particular football player who's not had a good game. But then you've got to understand sometimes that there are some things that is going on behind the scenes that's you know, what happens if you don't perform excellent at work. I don't know if you just got an office job or something like that. You've got to look at all of the little things and treat players just like you'd be treating your friends. You should be treating these players respectfully, and you've got to understand, and you've got to understand that these are just human beings, just like you. They're just on the other side of the fence, i.e., on the pitch, kicking the ball about for the team that you are passionate about. So you should be supporting them even more so, even greater so, even if they are going through slumps. You should be supporting them. You can't just think, like, for example, I know Mesut Ozil, prime example, I know it's an Arsenal thing, but, you know, he ran into a bit of a problem at the start of the season, obviously this season, where gangs from Wood Green were hunting him down and trying to stab him and whatnot. You know, the Arsenal fan base kind of split. I'm a massive Mesut Ozil fan. Some Arsenal fans don't really like him because they think he's quite lazy. Funny enough, Paul, I remember you saying it at the very, very start, your kind of lazical style. But I like that. I like that style because it makes people switch off you. It makes you harder to mark. That's my personal opinion on that one. But some people are a bit divided on the Mesut Ozil situation. But for months, him coming back, he wasn't really at his best. And people have forgotten about the fact that he went through a very traumatic experience at the very start of the season where him and Kolasinac nearly got stabbed to death. So, you know, and that's a prime example again. So I think that people really need to understand that football players are just people just like us. And we really need to go out there and support them just like we would do our mates down the pub.
I agree.
Well, this is the thing I was going to say. Imagine if I'm still playing now, and all of a sudden comes to Friday, I've got a match on the Saturday, and I'm mentally, I'm not right. Now, would the manager say to the fans and the press, "Oh, Paul Moody's not playing today because he's suffering with depression"?
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't.
No, never in a million years.
Exactly.
Make up an injury saying he's pulled hamstring. I mean, nowadays, I think more so you could probably get away with saying that. But again, 99% of the fans are going to say, "What a load of old bollocks."
Yeah.
How can you
And
be
that's the
depressed
problem.
you're earning that much money? Just get out there and play. But
that's the problem.
again, it's understanding it. As I say, if you've never suffered from it, which a lot of people, lucky for them, haven't, then they don't understand.
I had that belief. How can they suffer from such and such? They're on such and such a week and so forth. But then when it boils down to it, you look, you're 20 years old. You've got basically an untold bank account. You've got the best car. First of all, let's look at it realistically. Your mates around you ain't going to be your mates. They're not going to be ones when the shit hits the fan, be helping you. When you turn to them and you're struggling, you wouldn't trust anybody. You wouldn't want to trust anybody. You wouldn't want to let anybody into your private life. So for me, that's four things. I would hate to be a football player at the moment. I would hate it. I would hate it. Totally hate it. All that pressure and that only you. Who do you turn to talk to? Who do you trust when everybody's selling stories about everybody? Such and such was out on the piss last night, a night before a game. Who cares? Did he enjoy himself? Yeah. Did he play well on the Saturday? Yeah. Who cares? We've all gone to work after a night out. All of us. And to me, you're no different from anybody else. I don't understand.
That's right. Exactly. Every job's the same. Most people come home from work, have a drink, have a relax, go to the pub, do this and that. Why should football be any different? Okay, yeah, to a degree, they should be letting their hair down a little bit, which I think they need to do at the right times. But obviously, as you say, there's too many phones about now, cameras everywhere. And people who want to make a little bit of money out of the story.
Well, that's it. All it takes is for someone to picture. Give me a player at the moment. England player, Harry Kane, out on the sauce. Well, you look at the situation. Euro '96. Before Euro '96, they went to Hong Kong, the England team, and obviously the famous Gazza in the chair, in the dentist chair, taking a drink. Good on him.
and obviously did the celebration when he scored against Scotland.
Good on him.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Middle finger to, exactly. Don't apologise. Just get involved.
Like Paul said, they're humans. They are humans. They might play football, and we might look up to them. But at the end of the day, they should be very approachable. They should be very easy to talk to and be spoken to, and have people around them that they can trust. It's such a big thing we talk about on this, especially is trust. Who do we talk to? This is why we formed Walk and Talk, is to have like a community, and it organically happens. Every walk I've ever been on, I've met the most amazing people, and it just organically happens. And we text each other, obviously with this pandemic going on, we text each other a lot more, seeing how everybody is and kind of get everybody involved in things. And hence why me and Deacon started this off. And it's just, we want a place where people can feel open and feel be able to talk about things. Like I said, Paul, we've spoken a hell of a lot offline about everything, and I can't thank you enough for coming on first and foremost.
100%.
And being honest, it's amazing to see that like I said, a player that I looked up to as I'm going to sound really stupid here, but as a kid growing up, I used to look up to you, and now we're all in the same boat. And it just goes to show that coming together, helping each other out, is probably the greatest gift we can give each other. It's not money. It's time. Time is the most important.
Time is
thing
money.
you could give.
That's why it's a comic. A very common saying. Time is money.
It's the greatest gift you could give anybody. When this all blows over, I'm hoping to catch up with Paul for a drink and hopefully do a video where we can film this properly without this and just sit down.
We were supposed to be going to see Paul Weller in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh, mate, don't.
We were supposed to be going to see Paul Weller.
You were staying in. Mate, it's only a start. That's done me well in. It's
Lee, do you want to do some silly? I've got a couple of questions I want to ask Paul. Just silly little ones, just positive ones.
Let's leave on a positive.
I think that'd be a good idea. Yeah. Just ask some nice questions about your career.
Really bad. I can't hear a word you're saying. No. I can't hear a word you're saying. It's all really crackly.
Paul, can you hear me now?
I thought you should have done it on WhatsApp.
Paul, can you hear me now?
You got us?
I can hear you, but it's still crackly.
So the silly questions I want to ask you,
the
silly questions I want to ask you, Paul. What was your best ever shirt swap?
Shirt swap. To be fair, I don't remember swapping shirts with anyone.
Oh, really?
I know.
I
know a very, very, very good story.
For a start, it'd been too pro.
I've got a very. You got. Oh, where's he gone?
We've lost him.
Where's Paul?
Paul.
Where is he? There he is.
There's a phone call coming through. But no, I don't think I've ever swapped shirts with anyone.
Ah, that's an interesting. And any particular reason? Is it just because it was too cold?
I mean, looking back now, can you hear me?
Yep.
No, you've both.
Someone's trying to phone you. Stop phoning Paul.
Stop phoning Paul. You're a popular man, Paul.
Yeah, I got you.
We've got you, Paul. We've got you.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
You can.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, looking back now, I wish I'd have kept a few of my older shirts and made the games up at Southampton, played against some big players then. Maybe should have asked to swap shirts then, but really didn't interest me at the time. It was like, why would I want someone else's shirt?
I recently brought a Southampton 1993 away shirt, a home shirt, and I sent Paul the picture, and he was just like,
"Can't hear either of you now.
You can't hear.
Need to sort your studio out."
You're not wrong, Paul. You're not wrong.
We try. Can you hear us at all? You got us at all, Paul?
Paul?
You got us? Hello, Paul?
No, that was painful. I couldn't hear him.
Paul! That was painful. Couldn't hear him.
Well, it was difficult. I love his brutal honesty. I absolutely love his brutal honesty. Obviously, it was quite difficult with the connection loss. I can understand and appreciate that. You could have said it's one of those TV media moments.
Yeah, just definitely had to cut it. But no.
Oh, that's a shame. I liked his response actually in regards to the football shirt. That was quite funny. I like that. I love his brutal honesty. But I will tell you, I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him. Absolutely, so honest. He's so honest and so open and just so willing to talk about things that are very personal to try and get people to realize that it's a serious issue.
Yeah, he's me and him have spoken for hours and spoken openly about it, and he believes in what I do, but what we do, and I'm going to try and get him on a walk. He's genuinely he's such a pleasure to be around. He always makes me laugh. Like we go out for a drink, and it is just generally just a laugh. And you don't, like I said to you earlier, you don't look at him like a football player. You don't look at him like a football player. You look at him like a mate, and he's just one of the most soundest guys. He's so lovely, and his missus is equally lovely as well. They're a very good couple and wonderful people. So I think we obviously we can't ask him any more questions. I can see if he's still on. Oh, he's still on the line at the stream. Paul, are you there? You hear us, Paul? Paul?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear, no? I think what we will do is, can you hear us, Paul?
Paul, can you hear me?
Has he got his sound up?
I don't know. He's doing it on his phone, which can be tricky.
Yeah,
it's very unstable.
It is. Now, what we'll do is have a chat with
Paul. We'll have a chat with Paul off stream or whatnot. I was going to say offline, but that's not correct because you would be talking to him online. But you get the premise. My old man had a really good point, which I'll just address to you now, Lee, in regards to a walk and talk Vex team of all the people that we interview. Maybe just get them together just for a little kick about.
Yeah,
it's been Vex team.
It's been. Do you know what? It's been in the pipeline for ages. it's just trying to get everything going. It's
of
really
course.
difficult. It's really difficult. I've asked Paul and many other players if they would be involved, and all of them said yeah. So it's just trying to find that time. Obviously, we've got a pandemic at the moment, but then the season's so quick. You're running up to Scotland, you're running down, you're doing this, you're doing that,
Of
you're
course.
doing that.
It needs to be sort of like a year in the pipeline kind of thing.
Oh, massively. But we have good news.
Okay. Well, then
we have football shirts coming soon.
Wait, is that confirmed?
That is confirmed.
Okay, because you were just sort of kind of like sending me about, I don't know, 40 or 30 or 40 different designs. And I was like, oh, they all look amazing. But you hadn't told me. So this is a first for me as well. You hadn't told me. I'm excited. Walk and talk football shirts.
Yeah. So they're going to come out, and obviously every bit of all the money's going to go to Walk and Talk, and just kind of open up the conversation regarding men's mental health in football. Let's try Paul one more time. Let's try him.
Okay, all right.
Paul, you got us? It's like a bouncer, isn't he? He's like a bouncer.
He's not letting me in.
Paul, I've been a good boy. I've got my ID. Paul.
Still can't hear you.
No? So what I'll do...
Have a chat with him afterwards. I'm loving that look. Like, Paul, listen, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I love that look. That was quality. Absolutely quality.
No, he's one of the nicest guys. And once all this is
I fell in love with him.
We should go down and do a film with him and kind of
I'd absolutely love to
throw some questions for Paul, and we're asking him, and then
obviously because of the connection issues, I wanted to get some questions from the chat that you could ask him. But obviously, what we'll do now is if you want to just tweet Lee at Walk and Talk MMH, then we can get this question prepared for when we go and meet Paul. Me for the first time, and obviously when we go and meet Mr. Konchesky as well, obviously you've got any questions for that, do that too. We'll go and have pie and mash with him when this all blows over. Also remember, guys, make sure if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button as well, guys. It really helps us with just letting us know we're doing a solid thing here in some really trying times. But overall, absolutely fell in love with Mr. Moody, 1,000,000%. Moods, brilliant guy, really down to earth. I feel like I could have a beer with him, many beers with him over an afternoon easily. I think he's a really easy guy to talk to, even though when he came in the end there, it looked like he was going to be the bouncer of the pub to tell me to F off my ID is fake.
You're not old enough. Yeah, he is generally one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's just wonderful, just literally just so down to earth, which is what we want. We want to surround people within this community with very much down to earth people, and people that people can relate to. You know, 100%. There's a lot of work that goes behind picking up these people and chatting to them and getting them on the show. It is hard, but it's something that we have to do now. Obviously, we can't walk and talk, so we're sitting and talking. But
we're still doing the most important bit, talking.
Much. Exactly, and if anybody wants to suggest ideas, just tweet us. Just try to do something and get behind what we're doing, because we're doing it for the community. We're not doing it for us. Like, we gain nothing. We gain a lot out of this. I'm not being funny. I look forward to every Wednesday at 7:00.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Printed in my head.
Rick, I'm pretty sure that's Rick from my community, and you know. I'm always talking about it on my streams. I'm always talking about it. I'm always promoting Walk and Talk and these live videos we do on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Absolutely. I love being able to be in a position to be having these very in-depth conversations. And sometimes some of the conversations are with Paul Moody and Paul Konchesky. Incredible. Incredible. And it's such an amazing thing to get a deep insight, because you overlook it. You always overlook it. You always overlook the things. Why isn't he playing well this week? Is he just having an off game? He's crap. No, he's going through some stuff, man. Just like all of us are.
And I suppose when you're in that media, you're in the media.
No, well, that's just media. I'm just talking about fans, though. Media can go F themselves even on a good day. I'm just talking about the fans. We all need to be behind our players. Yeah, I thought so, Rick. We need to be behind our players because we're the fans, or we're just fans of football. And I'm not even talking about Arsenal fans supporting Arsenal players, so on and so forth, Fulham fans supporting Fulham players. I'm talking about football fans supporting footballers, because at the end of the day, if they aren't there, we ain't watching football. We've got to support them. We've got to support them. We've got to back them, and they give us back playing on the pitch.
It's just
and getting us a hat trick, which unfortunately I wanted to ask him as well. How did it feel to score? Coming back from your leg break against Stoke, it had to be Stoke, didn't it? It had to be Stoke. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I'm not a lover of Stoke. What they did to Ramsey, another leg break. But coming back second game and then scoring an absolute blinding hat trick against Preston. So it's unfortunate we weren't able to ask him that.
Barry Hales was up front with him, who I'm going to try and get on.
Amazing.
Shortly. Barry's a lovely guy as well.
Amazing.
I think we look at football players and put them in a different caliber. I don't think
we put them on. The thing is, we put them on not a pedestal. I don't like, but we put them high up, thinking like in a different echelon.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Definitely. They're more superior. Mate,
they're just lads playing football like we would want to.
Yeah,
that's all it is. So treat them as your friend. Look after them as your fellow male. 100%.
What was it when Caroline Flack recently passed away? What was it?
Yeah.
# be kind. That was
be
it.
Kind. Yeah, just be nice. If you don't
nice.
have anything like the old saying, I know it's cliche, but it's cliche because it's so commonly used, because it's so true. If you don't have something nice to say, then don't say nothing at all.
Agreed.
You're not going to get anything out, getting a reaction to get a little bit of dopamine high by being nasty to someone, that you're going to be like, oh man, I was a douchebag back then. If the player didn't play well, there's going to be other factors in play. Just think about that next time when you get frustrated at a player. I know it's in the heat of the moment, but just think about it and then decide what you want to do. Send a positive message. Try and support them. Exactly.
No, it's just simple things, isn't it? And hopefully this every Wednesday at 7:00 kick-off. And hold up, add to stream. Hold up, Paul's back. Paul, can you hear us?
Yes, that's
yeah.
We were just singing your praises, mate. Dick was just saying how wonderful you are, and I was trying to explain to him that he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life.
Thanks very much.
No, he's a top guy. So, welcome back, Paul. Welcome back. Round of applause.
At least I can hear you now.
Fantastic.
That's the main thing. As I say, I was making up half the answers from what you were saying.
Well, you were doing really well. You were doing really well.
Getting little clippets of it, but yeah.
Well, I'll ask you one more question then, Paul.
Anything?
I'll ask you one more question, Paul, because obviously the shirt question was quite a funny response. I like that.
Actually, can we go back to that shirt question?
Okay. Yeah,
yes. We can. I've never really swapped shirts with anyone. Not that I can remember.
If you could have swapped a shirt, who would it have been with?
Oh,
cool. I can't even remember half the players I've played with, or against. I don't know. Maybe that Arsenal game was a big game for me when I played for Southampton. Maybe Ian Wright.
Yeah.
My favourite.
Ex non-league player as well, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's my favourite. I love Ian Wright.
So yeah. But that, for me, that's not really a big thing. Sort of collecting. I've got hardly any sort of memorabilia from my playing days. Half my shirts I've given away.
But that's
I've got a few. I'll tell you what I come across in the loft: a yellow Damon Internet one.
Yes. I've got one. I've got one.
They're quite rare, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very rare. I think. Do you know what? This is how old we're getting, Paul. The club have reissued the shirt again as a retro shirt. So
it's different. I've got it signed by the team as well. Even Kevin Keegan's signature on there as well.
Yeah, I think I've got about 4 or 5 of them. It's crazy. It's just it's a beautiful shirt. It's a beautiful shirt. Yeah. I think when this is all over, I think we should catch up and wear it together and have a picture.
I should have put it on tonight if I'd thought about it.
I should have put the Southampton shirt on, to be fair. I should have done that. I sent you the picture the other day and he was like, oh man, what a shirt. It's just something that we can all talk about, isn't it? It's something so simple.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we got. Go on.
So I just want to ask this one question. This is what I wanted to ask you before the connection is. Can you hear me now?
You got ya?
No, can't hear it.
No, no, no! I didn't get to ask him. You drabbled on, Lee.
Lee, you might have to relay it.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ask him how it felt and what was the goal scored on his comeback game against Preston, where he scored the hat trick from the leg break from Stoke.
Well, the history-making game against Preston, where you scored a hat trick.
Yep.
How did you feel? How did you feel about that? Obviously, I still think the record still applies, doesn't it? I don't think no Fulham substitute has ever scored a hat trick since in a game. I think I'm right in saying that.
I don't know. It was a strange old week because Keegan had just resigned as the manager, and we needed to win the league. So yeah, it was a bit of an odd game. I was sub, so half the time when you sub, you don't really think you're going to get on. And coming up to half time, and Keegan said to me, "Stay out here and keep yourself warm, get yourself warmed up." He said, "You're coming on for the second half," and I was so pumped up, and where I hadn't played all season, and I was fit as well, and I was raring to go. And a lot of the teams you play against at the end of the season, they're all sort of winding down, looking forward to their sort of summer break.
Yeah.
Whereas I was like flying and ready to go. And literally, yeah, what a thing. You can't describe it. But then after that, I drove back home, and I think me and the ex-missus had a Chinese, maybe a couple of drinks indoors. And then I always remember the Alpha had put on a massive dinner dance thing, all top food and free drinks and whatever, and I never went to it. Again, part of the depression thing. It's like I couldn't be bothered, you know, which is weird. But looking back on them things, the same because I got promoted with Oxford from the same division, and again with Millwall, same division. I didn't go to any of the after
season dinners.
After the events, the dinner dance and whatever. I just didn't go to them, you know. I just like to get myself off back to home, where I felt safe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think a lot of people can relate to that, in the sense of after work, drinks and so forth. People just go, just not feeling it. They just go straight home. I think it's very common in a lot of people, a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people would say to me, "Oh, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you?" And I think it did boil down to the depression thing. I mean, I like to just get myself back home, chill out and do my own thing, you know.
Yeah, totally.
But looking back now, I'd have liked to have done more, and I think I'd have had more opportunities to maybe have gone on and play for better teams if the depression thing hadn't sort of held me back. Because I think it did 100% held me back. But again, it's just trying to fight your way through it.
I was going to ask another question. Obviously, with depression and you in football and depression, did anybody else within your teammates or anybody within, you don't have to name names, obviously, but anybody within that community felt the same as you at that time? Because it's when you look at the stats behind it, you know, the biggest killer of men under 45 is suicide. Did everybody just hit it?
I wouldn't have sort of opened up. I remember when I was at Oxford, I said I went to the doctors and that, and he did sort of say, "Yeah, you're depressed." And I thought, well, yeah, maybe I am. I didn't understand it. But it's not one of them things you would have shared with the other players. I mean, they knew I was going through a difficult time off the field. But still a few odd players were thinking, why are you not training? Why are you having a day off here and there? And, you know, getting a little bit jealous about it. And I think to myself, well, because they didn't understand what I was going through. I mean, if I could have explained it to them at the time.
It's a very difficult one, isn't it?
Driving to work, just felt like driving. Sorry?
Say that again, Paul. You got me?
Yeah, I was going to say some days I was driving into training and thinking I'm just going to drive a lorry coming towards me, you know.
That's awful. That's
half the
awful.
time you just didn't want to. I never would have done it. I know I would never done it. I never will do it. But have them thoughts of doing it and just thinking,
fuck it.
I mean, some people are mentally strong, you know, in certain ways. But I think when you have the depression, it's something that gets hold of you, and you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah,
you can't do nothing about it. No,
100% agree.
As I've said before, unless you've experienced that, you don't know. I mean, people say, "Oh, pull yourself out of it." It's like, nah.
No,
you can't just pull yourself out of it.
I totally agree. You know, it's obviously with this pandemic going on, there's a lot of people are struggling at the moment, and I hope between the three of us, we've kind of give people a little bit of hope and a little bit of something to look forward to on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock. You know, there's not much going on during the weeks, and to kind of focus on something and something that we can openly talk about without being stigmatized, should we say.
Maybe do a weekly thing or something, but you need to sort your line out. It's still not clear. It's gone funny again.
You've got to come on a walk, Paul. I'm gonna get you on a walk. You're gonna come on a walk. You're coming on a walk.
I will do. Shall I bring the dog with me?
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think we're happy. I think we've done over an hour of talking. I think that's superb. I can't thank you enough, Paul. I'll give you a call in a minute, Paul. Thank you personally. You've been amazing, Paul. Say hello to the missus for me, and we will definitely catch up when this is all over. I'll give you a call in a minute, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Pleasure speaking to you both.
You're a star.
Thank you, Paul. If you can hear me, man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Take care.
Cheers, mate. Call you in a minute. Bye.
Catch you later.
Oh, sugar, what have I done?
What have you done? You got your face. It's just your face. It's just your face. Oh, I'm glad that we were able to get him back there. That was I like the story of him warming up. Keegan, warm up, and he's right. You know, it was the 8th of May. Players are already on holiday. I make this joke all the time on my streams. You know, and he was like, right, I'm ready to have this. But it's very interesting to hear him say about the you know, he went back and had the Chinese, which is funny because it's so mundanely stupid. Like, it's like what we would do on a Friday night, you know what I mean? If we're not going out, we're just doing a chill one in, you know, with the missus and whatnot.
I think we have a perception of what football players
do. But you wouldn't think that would be an actual thing that they would do. You know what I mean? But you've got to realise once again, you know, that he's just a regular guy. Do you know what I mean? He's just a normal guy. Yeah, but it is quite interesting to hear once again. He's very open about the depression thing and talking about the fact that he would have wanted to maybe have gone to one of those parties because maybe his career could have maybe excelled a little bit more, which is extremely interesting to hear. Obviously, we'll have a chat with him closer when this all clears up. We can have a chat with him about that in a deeper meaning, and also his very openness about so the term is called call to the void. It's a very common term. I looked it up. It's something that is always going through my mind as well. It's when your brain enacts something that you wouldn't do to try and see what the outcome would be. So when he said about how he was thinking about driving into oncoming traffic, that happens to me all the time when I'm driving. Not because it can be associated with depression, but it's just your brain reacting and trying to imagine what the results would be. And it's quite a common thing for humans to have. It's just called to the void.
I've had a lot of mates of mine that have openly said, I'm driving. They've been on the phone to me on that day and phoned to me and says, mate, I just wanted to drive into the car. And loads of mates of mine have done that. And
yeah, it's a really common thing. And it's a flaw in the human nature.
Very, very, very scary to receive these calls. It's crazy. But next week,
what should we
What should we get on? Who should we get on?
Oh,
What
I'd love
should
to.
we do?
I'm loving having these conversations with footballers, but I also like having the one-to-ones because I don't know about you, Lee, but I think we bounce off each other really, really well. So we have really good discussions. So I'm very easy, but I'd love another guest, of course. Let's see what you can pull out of your magic hat. Let's see what you can pull out of your magic hat. Don't hold back, Lee. Don't hold back.
A few people have messaged me on my personal Twitter account and said,
or a football quiz.
Why don't you do more with your shirts? And I was like, oh, it's just like there's just too many, and it's just where do we start? What do we do, and how do we go about things?
Well, we don't necessarily. How many shirts have you got, Lee? Just off the top of your head.
500-600.
Okay, so let's not worry about having to get other people in. I'll run it and you do the shirts.
It would just be like the whole place
we
here
can do our other ideas. Or we can do our other ideas.
She will go mad at me, mate. I ain't having that, bro. Drop it out.
We can do the idea of the football, the songs.
Yeah, just literally
ideas.
Everybody.
If you have any ideas, guys, obviously this is all of our thing. So if you have any ideas, please shout them out. And obviously on Twitter as well, which is Walk and Talk MMH. You can find Lee there. I never shout. Simon, I never shout myself out. You can come and check my Twitch out, my man, and then you can see if you like me behind the scenes. That's just Deacon Entertainment. So you see what's written there, Deacon Entertainment. That's completely wrong. So there to there. See, it's Deacon Entertainment right there. You can. That's my Twitch. So if you want to come, and I'm streaming Football Manager, so it's all football related. So if you wanna come and jump into one of the streams, Deacon Entertainment. Well, no, Simon, I never ever shout myself out, but Simon's asked, so there you go. There you go.
Congratulations on the haircut, by the way. We were talking about that offline. Well done.
You can watch the post VOD. Mrs. Deacon shaved it for me on stream. She shaved my head off with the clippers, and then I had to try to tidy it up because I look like something out of a post-apocalyptic world where I'm just, I'm walking around scraggling, trying to find the Bible. And Denzel, is it Denzel Washington? No, it's not Denzel. Who is it? In the Book of Eli, I can never remember who it is.
I don't watch films, mate.
He doesn't watch. He doesn't do films. So there we are. But what's going on, Bias? Matthew Bailey, what's going on, buddy? You just missed it, but you can watch the post VOD. Paul Moody was an absolute legend, and thank you all for being here for this. Once again, another live sit and talk.
Yeah, and hopefully, like I said, anybody's got any suggestions, ping it over to our Instagram, Walk and Talk MMH, Facebook, Walk and Talk MMH, Twitter, Walk and Talk MMH. Let's start getting this moving. Let's start spread the word, spread the love, tell people what we do and why we do it. There's a big story behind this. I am itching to start walking. I've come up with an idea. I tell you offline, Deacon, and it will be streamed live. So hopefully this will work out, and everybody will get behind it and do something positive in what is a very challenging time at the moment. But
exactly.
I think till next week, mate. You've been a star as always. It's a shame about the shirt, if I'm honest. Oh, good. I've got a few Arsenal supporters here, so I've got to be nice to them. Deacon, hate. Was that at the bottom?
I loved it. That's another great thing from
What's
here.
That at the bottom? What's that at the bottom? Turn around. Deacon, all the players.
No. I saw where you were going with that. Fuck, right. But it was quite interesting to hear Paul Moody. Just a closing point that he said the one shirt he would want to get if he did.
Yeah.
Righty. Yes.
Yeah. He's a good lad. He's
winning.
I can't thank him enough. He's such a good guy.
I literally a man crush. The guy's a legend. Absolutely amazing human being. Can't wait if I get the opportunity to come and to meet him.
Yeah, more than welcome.
Absolutely can't wait.
But it's just what we're trying to do is create this community by fans for fans where players can come in.
Yeah.
They're no different from us.
Exactly.
We had Leo McKenzie on a walk. We've had other players, and no one's really bothered them. And to me, that's the fundamental thing. They're here for a reason. Don't go crazy, and we'll be fine. It's what we're all about. I can't wait to start walking again, man. I'm putting on loads of weight. I'm eating too many crisps, mate. You think I'm joking, mate? She banned me from crisps. She banned me, mate. It's disaster. It's disaster. But do you know what? This is crazy at the moment. But I need to start walking. And like I said, I'll talk to you offline about a situation I've got. And hopefully, like I said, everybody, I know I keep repeating it, but if you've got a suggestion, please
don't hold it back. Don't hold it back. If you have, even guys, obviously from my community, from the dryland community, if you have any ideas about Walk and Talk, about what Lee and what we could do, then please don't hesitate. You know that, boys. Anyway, so
no suggestion is stupid. No suggestion is stupid.
Exactly.
Just, if you want football shirts, we do football shirts. If you want,
at the end of the day, this is all of our thing. But it's been I've loved this evening, and once again, as you said, Lee, I look forward to Wednesdays at 7 p.m. I look forward to it.
I do. Middle of the week, slap bang in the middle of the week, happy days, and I think it's going to stay for the foreseeable future.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Well, do you want to sign off, Lee?
Yeah, you've been a star. I'm a ledge. See you later. I'm joking. You've been amazing, mate. You've been amazing.
No, it's been great. It's been great.
Paul. Big thank you to Paul,
please thank him for me. Please thank him for me.
I will do. And like Deacon said earlier, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please just spread the love, man. You know, that's
it. Share this video around. Share this video around. Let's get our world. Let's make our little world a little bit nicer, a little bit bigger, and a little bit nicer.
And let's invite many of people that are suffering, that can open up and hear that other people are suffering. And you know, I think the biggest thing when I went through this is understanding that you're not alone. I think that's what kick-started me 5 years ago into doing things. So understand you're not alone. Spread the love. Everybody's welcome. No suggestions. Stupid. So fire them away at me. If you want football shirts, we do football shirts. If you want whatever you want, we do it. We do it.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said. Well said. Lee, take care of yourself.
It's been a pleasure, mate. It's been a pleasure, mate. We'll catch up soon. And again, thank you to Paul Moody. And we will see you back at 7 o'clock. We promise you it'll be 7 o'clock next week. Till next time, people, keep smiling. Keep looking after yourself. Be lucky.